Please welcome the stars of Unbroken, Jack O'Connell, Garrett Hedlund, Wittrock, and Miyavi. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Good morning, good morning.
Good to be here.
So, plane crash, lost at sea, Olympic races, time in a prisoner of war camp. I mean, what was the single hardest day of filming for each of you making this movie? A lot going on.
Who first?
Go ahead.
Jack, start with you.
I don't know, the whole thing is a bit of a blur for me.
Yeah?
It's quite difficult. You guys go first. I'll take inspiration from you.
I remember being on this open water when we were shooting the raft scene, and so the camera ship is moving and our little boat is moving, and we're like starving and
Not really in the frame much either.
Yeah.
Really.
No, yeah, but you can't really
Yeah.
see us till we're like, you know. And then we had this piece of prosciutto that was like the shark's liver. You know,
Oh, nice.
Because we like
Yeah,
kill a
yeah.
shark, you know, and eat it.
Sure.
You know? So it was the shark's liver, and we were like on this
we-
diet, and so it was like this prosciutto was. We didn't want to give it back to props. we were like, Dono, hide the prosciutto from props.
Do you remember when we actually ate that shark liver?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
we
ma-
did.
and
We
you
ate a
made
real.
it,
Yeah.
Underrated is shark's liver. Yeah, people don't realize what a delicacy it
Saute
can
with
be.
a little oil.
Well, so we can assume the raft stuff was that the hardest part. How long did you actually spend on the raft filming those scenes?
A few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Fair few weeks.
3 or
yeah.
4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually found the plank tougher. We did a plank sequence. I was underneath this plank,
It's amazing.
as was Louis.
Wow.
For a longer amount of time than myself.
Yeah.
And so I can't really complain too much. But that made me faint. I fainted under the
Did
plank.
you really?
Yeah, twice. Didn't I, Miyavi?
Yeah, it was really hard, tough situation we are in. Actually, for me, that was the first time to be in a film as an actor.
Yeah.
So I was just, with him, kind of, having a jam session to each other. But the scenes there was really tough, and then he almost fainted. I almost fainted too.
But
Yeah.
I guess you can only get a small piece of what Louis obviously went through and his
Exactly,
story.
yeah.
But let's talk about Louis for a minute, because he was very, very involved in making this film happen. I know he passed just this past July, but how special was it to have he and his family, be such a part of trying to make this project happen?
And endlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Angelina knew him, so she constantly had these references for him. So, no, he was very centred. He was the centre of all of our thinking, and it motivated us all. I think, we were working towards a tribute for an extraordinary man.
Yeah.
So to have his family's blessing along with his own was crucial for us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Angelina. Obviously, she directed the film. How important is it when you work with a director who's such an accomplished actress herself? I mean, how is that experience working with a director like that different than working with a director who maybe doesn't have the acting experience that Angelina does?
Yeah, she could empathise.
There's a sensitivity to what an actor's going through.
Yeah.
And also, like, I felt like we were creatively involved in making it happen. Like, our instincts were noticed, and she would move stuff around based on what we were doing.
Real sensibility to what the actor's going through.
Exactly,
Yeah.
compassion and
Yeah.
whatever.
Was was Louis able to give you any insight and tell you any stories about either his time in the Olympics or in World War II that really kind of gave you an insight into his character?
Yeah, numerous. I mean, there's a wealth. Yeah. Well, this jacket's inspired by Louis.
Yeah.
I was round his house, and he fished out one of his old bomber jackets
Oh, very
that
cool.
he used to fly in, and it fitted
Yeah.
quite perfectly. So we had
Really?
a moment. Yeah, it's a bit like Cinderella. a bit like.
That's got to feel good, though, as you're about to play a legendary, iconic man like him. That's a cool moment.
I took it as validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This past weekend, my very own USC Trojans paid a little tribute. I think we have a picture here
We loved USC.
from their halftime to Louis. Yeah, very, very cool. So yeah, it's cool to see a legendary man honored like that, and obviously like he is in this film. It's a very, very cool project to be a part of. I have to imagine.
True say.
Yeah. When you met him, did you get a real sense for his heroic aura? I mean, did he have an aura about him as a veteran, a hero, a legend?
He kind of portrayed himself as very normal, very charming, charismatic, but there was never a sense of heroism with him. I guess that was instilled by us. I was in awe of the man.
Yeah.
But that was, I guess, that was a result of his normality. Yeah. And you just felt very comfortable around the fella, very witty.
Yeah.
you know, a people's person, a great flirt. Yeah. An awesome flirt.
Yeah, he still had it.
I found this interesting too, that it took 57 years for this film to get made. I mean, this is a story that's been circulating around Hollywood for a long, long time. When you hear something like that, does it kind of add on to the pressure of doing this film, knowing it took so long? I mean, Tony Curtis was originally slated to play Louis. That's how far back this goes. Did it add a little bit of an extra layer of importance when you hear that?
I mean, Laura's book just came out quite recently, of Unbroken, and so I remember when I first heard about Louis' story, you know, there were a lot of, they're like, oh, so-and-so's looking at playing this role, or so-and-so's looking, or, you know, the time passed, and the producer, Matt Baer, had been working on it for about 15 years before it ever came to fruition. So I think Laura's book and her tremendous work that she did into the research and all these sort of painstaking hours really paid off and got to show sort of Louis' life to the world, to all those who weren't familiar with it from the years of, you know, people in the 50s and 60s watching the Olympics who got to see his stamp on it. So it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's a very, very important story that needs to be told. And so do you think that the book was really the reason that the reason it happened now is now the right time because of the book and the relevance of the book?
I think so. I mean, it's one of those that, you know, in a world now where there's a lot of trilogies, there's a lot of, you know, sort of action films, stuff like that. The book is something that created a hype to all those unfamiliar, and you know, you see a lot of these other books, you know, being adapted. They're a little more sort of special effects friendly. This one, luckily enough, we got to do something that was about a tremendous story of a man of resilience and faith, and you know, shine a little light on that, and instead of some tights.
Yeah, sometimes the truth is more dramatic than anyone can ever make up, which is the case. All right, we are back with Jack, Garrett, Finn, and Miyavi. Now, Miyavi, I want to talk about you for a second. You're a famous musician, composer in Japan, but this was your first, this was your first ever acting role. How was it to have Angelina Jolie sitting across from you, trying to convince you to take this role? That's got to be pretty surreal.
Actually, it happened out of the blue, and that's something I never expected when I started studying English 8 years ago. And then, the story itself is really controversial, and then the book is not translated in Japan. So I was initially hesitant to tackle this role because it's, you know, I don't want to represent any negative side of Japan, the country I was born and raised. But after meeting Angie, it's all cleared, and she said that she wanted to create something meaningful, which could be a bridge between America and Japan, or even countries which have been having a similar issues in conflict. So even as a villain, I thought that this is really meaningful to be a part of this creation. And then
we were talking about it a little in the break too. It seems like the movies, in some ways, is about forgiveness and about, you know, reconciliation. And you were talking about how Louis was able to kind of, I mean, he was able to joke, and they found levity even in the most insanely stressful and dangerous situations. And it's about moving on and forgiveness, which is a great message for everybody.
So there's a footage that Louis is running with local children in Nagano Olympics.
Yeah,
that's
very cool moment.
At his 80s, and then everyone was smiling. The war is over, and then this is something that we need to pass on to the next generation. Not let this happen anymore. So that's why I was able to make a decision.
Yeah, very, very cool. And I want to get to a point, I guess it was a moment on set where you led kind of an impromptu band, you know, jam moment. Tell me about that. That's cool.
Because, you know, I'm a musician, so I'm not familiar with, you know, hitting people, you know. I'm always slapping the strings, not people. So, we wanted to hang out, you know, on set, but so we kept, you know, the distance from each other to put reality. So after we're done with filming, we had jam session on stage together. So.
Great way to kind of break the tension and everyone just
on
jam
set
out
we were
party.
separated, but on stage we got together. So
very, very
it's
cool.
a great moment.
Have they explained to you guys the Times Square Uncensored part of the program? It is time. You guys ready? Let's do it. Yeah, come on. Gentlemen, you're gonna be over here.
All right. Who goes left? You go window. You go here.
Our friend Ellie Lee is down in Times Square with some of your fans. They got some questions for us. Ellie, fire away.
Hi, guys. So our first question comes from Corey.
Hey, so which one of you guys are the most fun to party with?
Sounds like all of you based on the jam session stories.
I I think Miyavi wins by default.
Yeah.
I say Miyavi.
Most fun to party with.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the best.
They've spoken. It's you, buddy.
Best at karaoke.
All right, Ellie, next question.
Our next question comes from Elena.
Hey, where is the best vacation you ever took?
Best vacation you've taken.
The Europeans have a better opportunity
Yeah.
to sort of get to some more convenient places. How about that?
I'm loving this. This is some vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 38 degrees and rainy in Manhattan. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Like England, right?
Comparatively warm.
No, Dubai, I think a lot of people in England seem to go to Dubai, and you guys get to go to Cuba, which is obviously off limits for us, but I've heard Cuba's an amazing place to visit and vacation.
I went to Iceland. That was fun.
Iceland?
Went to Iceland, yeah.
That's very
Yeah,
cool.
it's like
How was that?
It's like a volcano, basically. It's
Oh,
like
that sounds
erupted
sounds
any
wonderful.
time. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
All right, Ellie, next question.
Okay, here's the next question.
What was the last thing you accidentally broke in your house?
Well, I don't know where these questions come from. The last thing you accidentally broke in your house.
And we're supposed to be uncensored.
As long as it wasn't a
Air
piece of
mattress?
drywall.
Yeah.
A wall?
I
No?
did punch a wall.
Something in my mom's dress.
Hold on now.
I'm not sure.
I broke a bone in my house before.
All right. That's Times Square Uncensored for you right there. Guys, very exciting. Our next question is coming from our Gray Line tour bus. Let's see here. It says, what is your favorite holiday? Come on, bus, pull on down. Your favorite holiday. Favorite holiday. We're coming up on Christmas time. Is it Christmas?
Yeah, I'd say
Come on.
so.
New
Right?
Year's.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
New Year's?
New Year's is
New
fun.
Year's?
Yeah, start again. Yeah.
All right.
I thought that was the same
What's-
part of the same holiday.
It's like a few days later.
What's the biggest holiday in the UK? What's the most celebrated holiday in the UK?
I think Christmas.
Christmas?
I think it is Christmas. Yeah.
Right.
It's Christmas.
Awesome. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to catch